Nice. It's happening. It's happening.
Manor Lords can be a very challenging game, especially on your first playthrough. I wouldn't be surprised if most lords fail in the first few years of founding a village. There's a risk of starvation, invasion, disease, and the weather, which can combine to bring ruin to any fiefdom. I don't want to be one of those lords. But surviving the first year brought a new frightening challenge, the threat of raiders in the distance, and I was completely unprepared. Welcome back to another episode of Dawn of a New Dominion, Manor Lords playthrough. I made a huge mistake when I first started and began building my settlement that almost led to the fall of my rule over my land.
I forgot what we were doing. I was just saving up money, right? We had gotten some sheep.
I invested in farming right away. Other Manor Lords strongly recommend against this, as it required too many resources and labor to get an adequate harvest to feed the people, especially in that first year when you're just starting out. Not to mention, milling the grain and baking it requires so much time, and I did not realize my mistake until tragedy befell my people. See, I had made some bread in that first year, and I thought things were good, but bandits snuck into the granary and stole the only bread I had made in that first year. Those few loaves were intended to last the summer months in combination with other foods like berries, meat, and eggs. Without that bread, my people would run out of those other resources faster. I was also a fool and did not harvest enough of those other resources. This proved to be almost a larger disaster as fall came, and the next harvest of grain would be weeks away and even further from being turned into new bread. I was stressed out for sure as December arrived faster than I was prepared for.
I want 100. That's my desired surplus.
There were only enough berries, eggs, and meat to last 2 months as the snows began to fall. I fully understood why people say farming is best left for later years.
I don't see any bread oh, I do see some bread. Oh, okay. So we're down to 14 food. We've got some apples. Apples are good.
My investment in orchards early would also prove to be useless, with only 4 apples available in the marketplace once the harvest came. I was thankful that Pocket, Queen of the Roost, and later Kamisato were caring for chickens that made eggs to feed the village. The mill turned the grain into flour, and I set the farmers to work on baking bread. New arrivals to the village hailing from mysterious lands accepted the task and did wonderfully. The husband had fallen ill in the first months, and the family had moved into the small house at the edge of town. I was glad that he recovered in time to help feed his neighbors. It seemed that winter would pass and the danger of starvation with it. Another new villager had offered their services as a trader, only going by the name Goats. They would set about making connections with other far-off markets to ensure the new dominion continued to thrive.
Could you imagine what this life would be? Like, this is such a lonely little ride in the snow. I'll have to go get some trade goods and bring them back to the village. Oh my gosh, imagine doing this at night. You know how scary that would be? Like, back then in the Middle Ages, they didn't know what everything in the forest was all about. You can get attacked by wolves, bandits, a bear maybe. All you had was like a little muddy road. And Goats and Scarves is so brave.
On a return trip, Goats heard news of raiders passing through and pillaging the lands just beyond our territory. Fear gripped the village as it became clear that they would be sending men to attack the following year. Having just survived the near famine caused by the bandits stealing supplies in the summer, I felt woefully unprepared to defend my people for such a raid. I would have to leverage the resources of the Dominion to increase regional wealth and pay mercenaries to defend the lands. I had every confidence in my villagers, but they were simple working folk. Many of the men were not trained for war, and I spent the next year exporting stone, planks, and any other excess resources the village produced. I even asked our dear Sister Trashleighs to pray that we would have enough regional wealth to pay for strong mercenaries to protect us. Again, I was a fool and did not realize the regional wealth meant nothing to mercenaries who accepted real coins as payment. I needed to raise taxes and fill the treasury, and in a hurry with time running out.
Hold on. So, amount of money owned by villagers from this region can be used for import or converted to treasury via a tax policy. So I actually have to tax the people? Oh no. Oh, I did not realize I had to convert that over.
With only a few months before the raids would come, I had to impose a heavy tax on the people. This was wildly unpopular, as you could imagine, but the people would have to make sacrifices. Some of you may die, but it is a sacrifice that I am willing to make. Kind of situation. The treasury filled, and I hired the Brotherhood of the Forest and some local brigands to fight. It would take time for the men to travel on foot and engage the raiders, so I had to keep taxes high enough to pay for months of service by the mercenary bands. This would put a strain on the settlement and its people, but we endured, luckily.
We'll do 30% tax. I don't even know what it's gonna be. Now, does it take it from there, the regional well? Okay, public order is back up to 10. But it's going to drop a little bit. Approval rating will drop by 20%, right? That's the fear. Okay. Breathe. We're good. We're good. Okay, I was so nervous. But we seem to be okay. People are a little unhappy about the taxation, which is totally understandable. I would not be happy either. You have 20 food. 17 of that is bread, 1 egg, and 2 apples. Nice. It's happening. It's happening. I'm gonna come over here and flank them. How's that?
And alas, victory came easily in a field far from the village, the Brotherhood's flag flying high on the battlefield. There would be peace and safety, at least for now. I sent the mercenaries on to help conquer the new territory and establish a settlement while I set to work on making the village a town. The false Lord Hildebolt should be afraid as my people grow stronger. He is powerful, however, with a mighty army, and I'm still unsure if I'm up to the task of defeating him, claiming the entire region as my own. I guess we will have to see how this story unfolds. Thanks for watching. I'm the Dusk Cerberus, and this is my new Dominion. Be sure to catch my live streams from Manor Lords on this channel and Twitch to see what happens next. I also love other games which I stream, and be sure to check those out and my Guild Wars 2 guides as well. Links for everything are in the description below, and I will see you in the next story.